Hello, welcome to this journey, The Shift. And this is 27 years of the accumulation of knowledge and experience. I had my awakening some 27 years ago, and since then I have been a seeker, and I've also been a non-seeker. I've been a dualist, a non-duality seeker. I have delved into the many ancient secrets, the many ancient esoteric knowledges. I have delved into Christianity and veganism, and you name it, I have given it a go. And in my many years in seeking, I've discovered many, many things. And as I approach my Chiron return, in which I begin to embody the sixth line of my profile, the role model line of my profile, the readiness that is rising up within my very cells is becoming more and more evident that it is time to now share the knowledge that I have for humanity. It is only right to share when you begin to know that the sharing of your own talents, your own gifts, your own inner wisdom is a necessity. We come to the accumulation, the knowing for the self, but until it is shared, it's not truly mastered. And so this is something that I'm very much compelled to do. And in us going on this journey into understanding what this cosmic shift that we're about to go through is going to be, we need to go all the way back to the beginning. And this first video in this series of the shift, the cosmic shift, this first video is about the beginning. Unless we understand the foundations, the first line of the hexagram, which is the investigator, unless we go into the investigation, we cannot actually truly know that which it is that we are, that which it is that we are meant to be doing, and that which it is that we are meant to come to understand and know as our life experience. Why are we here? That is the ultimate question. And not only why are we here collectively, why are we each here as an individuated, differentiated self? These questions will be answered for you. And as I said before, we must go back to the beginning. You see, what's happening to humanity at the moment, and everyone can feel a shift taking place. This cosmic shift that is taking place is one that we can all feel down to the very molecular structure of ourselves. We're feeling it in our energy bodies. We're not only feeling it in our energy bodies, we are feeling it in our physical bodies. We are sensing it. We are knowing it. This shift that is taking place as we approach 2027. And we will get to that in due time. But again, we must return back to the foundations. The first line of the hexagram is the investigator. If you have a one line in your profile in human design, that means you are an investigator. And the investigator is the great teacher. It teaches us, the first line says, what is it? And goes into its subsequent investigation. It starts with curiosity. And of course, if you're here, you're curious and you will get the answers you are looking for. But the answers that you are looking for are always within yourself. What I'm going to be laying down here, the foundations I am laying down, are exactly that. They are foundations in which you can stand upon and realize their stability for yourself. Please do not go on my authority. I am teaching from my inner authority. I am sharing the mind of what I've learned, which is my outer authority, but my mind is not my inner authority. My body consciousness, this life that I'm living, my authority lies in that. You see, as we go back to the beginning, we begin to understand that this whole life experience as a human being is one that is exactly that. It is being human. To be human is to understand that you are a natural phenomena that has come out of the environment in which it finds itself. When you came into this world, you first of all were aware of the environment. We are born within environments. The space in which we live, the planet in which we live on, is our environment. It is most important to understand that if we are separate from our environment, we are separate from ourselves. We must go back to the foundations of what it means to be human, what it means to be environmental, what it means to be natural. There is a natural matrix in which we have our life experience. However, there is also the opposite of that, because everything is a binary. There is the opposite of that, and the opposite of that is this false matrix. The false matrix, which is made and constructed of mind. The mind is a phenomena that is not natural. It overlays nature. It tries to control nature. Of course, you know this for yourself. How often has your mind tried to control your body? How often have you tried to use the mind in which to control your life? Well, that has come about through very specific ways in which those that would like to control your body and your mind, those that understand how this matrix works and how the mind matrix works, the overlay of the natural matrix, the control of the mind controls the people. As long as your authority is outside of yourself, you will never understand your truth. You will never be able to plant your incarnation cross into the ground. I'm going to bring in some of the ancient codes within the Holy Scriptures that we know and are called the Bible. But you see, this book we call the Bible is not something that we're meant to take literally. It is a metaphor. And it is the metaphors that Jesus spoke. They were known as parables. He spoke in parables because you must decode a parable. He said, I speak in parables to confound the wisdom of the wise. And what he was talking about is those that claim that they think they know. What Christ was doing was confounding the mind itself. Whenever the mind is trying to grasp and conceptualize what life is, it quickly and surely loses its grip. The mind is not your authority. The mind is the authority that controls your life. And so if you would like to come on this journey with me to prepare for the shift that is taking place in 2027, February 18 to be exact, and I'll cover that. But if you want to prepare for a shift that no one is prepared for, no one is prepared for it. If there's anything I've come to understand in recent months, is that the energies are rising and no one is prepared. So let's take it all the way back. As I said earlier on, we are natural beings. We are nature itself. We are biological beings, and it is the biological interface in which we have this life experience. You can see that for yourself. I do not need to convince you of that because it is your body that has the experience. It is your body that is moving through space and time. And the body has its environment. The environment is all around the body. The environment is never separate from the body. It is never separate from the body. So here we are, we find ourselves incarnating. We know we are incarnate because the word itself, carnate, the body, it literally means to embody. So even in that, there is a great message to be understood, to embody. What is it that embodies? Well, it is the consciousness of the witness, that which watches the experience taking place through the body consciousness. We are a binary, and all the ancient wisdoms have always understood that a binary, that which is of two, goes all the way back to the most basic structure of on or off, space or matter, masculine or feminine. And ultimately, it is masculine and feminine. And the reason for that is that in the understanding of feminine, we understand the very expression of what that energy is. Feminine is receptive. It is natural. It is passive. The feminine energy is passive. It does not do anything. And our witness consciousness, the consciousness of the passenger, that which is in the body, which is embodied, which is incarnate, is not the body itself. Now, there is no separation. They are the mergence of the two, and to bring the two energies together, the masculine and feminine, is to understand that you're integrating an awareness consciousness with a physical, atomic consciousness. The body is made of atoms. It is physical in nature. It has its own consciousness. The witnessing mind, as we call it, that is passive. As you can see, it has and can have no control over the body and its functions. However, what we have been taught to do through the schooling system is to override the body consciousness with the witness consciousness. Imagine what it's like to be a passenger in a car and you're trying to drive the vehicle from the back seat. It's not only dangerous, it's futile. Going all the way back again to the beginning, understanding that we are natural beings. The natural side we must first understand, because it is the natural side that has the experience. It is the natural side that is interfacing with its environment. Not only that, but the body is made of the environment itself. It requires breath, and the breath is its environment. It requires food, and the food is the body's environment. The body takes food and turns the environment, turns food into what it is. It is a transmutation of inanimate to animate. It is a very strange phenomenon, this life, when you think about it. So what we're coming to understand already is that we are natural. We are the nature itself. All animals, all creatures on this planet were born on this planet. Now, if we had been dropped off on the planet, if this body had been dropped off by some sort of alien craft, then it would be fair to say there are taxes to pay and you're going to need to pay rent because you are alien to this planet. However, the case is that we are not alien to this planet. We come in, we are made of it. The evidence is there, strongly there, that we are the environment. Therefore, what that insists is that the body and its environment are one. Just as our lungs, looking at a tree, the tree is the other half of our lungs. It is an interfacing program matrix of nature that we are experiencing. And that must be understood. And I know I'm taking my time here, but it's very, very important that you understand this foundation before we go any further, because you are a spiritual being. That is the witness, having a human experience, a physical experience. But where we have gone wrong, and even the spiritual circles have gone wrong, is that the spirit is here to control the body. It's not the case. It is not the case. But do not be unaware that the mind can cause the body to become very unwell. This need to try and control the body can cause it to become diseased. And that's where we get the word disease from. There is no ease. The body is meant to, and is made to, is designed to experience ease with its environment. This has to be understood. And you cannot travel any further on this spiritual journey unless this is understood. Let this go into your very cells. Allow the body to listen, but most of all, allow the passenger, the witness, to really be aware. It's here to be aware. It's here to watch only. Imagine going on a roller coaster and you start trying to steer that roller coaster. You're just going to burn up energy. You're just going to meet resistance. The roller coaster is the ride, and you are the passenger, and you're meant to simply enjoy the ride with all of its ups and downs, with all the scary parts and the enjoyable parts. That's why the human being loves a roller coaster. It's so much like life, but just a passenger. Knowing that the body is very much, as much the earth as the earth is the body. What we can begin to understand now is natural law. Natural law must be understood, and there are not many people on this planet that understand natural law. There are many unnatural things in this world that control us, and I'm going to start with the first one. And the first one is money. Money. And I know that cut through to people instantly. Because as soon as we mention the word money, there is so much that comes up, so much at play. This money thing. The question I have for you is, where does money come from? Most people, and many of you watching this, will not know where money comes from. It is a construct, and it is created by the human being. Not only is it created by the human being, but it is created by each of us. I want you to think about the movie The Matrix. Neo, the one. What that means is it's talking about awakening must happen to each one. Neo is you. And what Neo discovered in the Matrix, that he was the Matrix. When he asked this child using telekinesis to bend the spoon, how do you bend the spoon? The child directed his attention to begin to understand that there is no spoon. The illusion of separation. Once that awareness within himself was fully realized, the spoon bent on its own. Because Neo was the spoon, is the spoon. You are Neo. You are in the Matrix, and no one can wake you up for you. No one can wake you up, ever, for you. Only you can wake you up. In this series of videos, that is what I'm going to attempt to do here. But all I can do is share. And if you follow, you will find. But don't just follow me. What I'm insisting that you follow is yourself, your strategy, your authority. Unless you come from your own inner authority, you will never discover your truth. It will not happen. Not in this incarnation. If you are not your own authority. The ironic thing is that as you become your own authority, there is no outer authority, then there is no separation. There is none. Because the idea of separation comes from outside of us. This idea of separation has been programmed into us by the overlay matrix. Watch the Matrix movie and see that there is this overlay that keeps us blinded to what is actually going on, what we actually truly are. This body of ours is made of nature. It is made of it. So what does that imply? And where and what does that have to do with money? We have so many people on this planet. Now, the fact that we pay taxes to be on this planet is absurd because we are not alien to it. You only pay taxes to something that you are alien to. Otherwise, there is nothing in natural law, and that's where I'm going right now, the law of nature. There is nothing in the law of nature that says you should be paying taxes to live here. Nothing. There is no proof of that. What there is proof of, what there is absolute existential evidence of, is you are nature. Therefore, if you were born on this planet, and you are, being born onto this planet with many other people on it, the only fair thing within natural law, to be as close to the laws of nature as possible, is that a certain percentage would be apportioned to you in which you could live on this planet, in which you can go about being an expression of this planet and that spirit that is moving in it. The spirit is here to simply witness The mind is controlling, and you'll see more and more of that as we go. The mind tries to control the human being. It tries to control the planet. It is a control mechanism known just like how we saw it in the Matrix, this false program, keeping us blind and busy. So it would only be fair, and it is under natural law. Nothing owns anything. Everything is an integration of what it is. We truly grok this planet, as in when we consume food, we are consuming the planet. The planet becomes us and we become it. The body always goes back to where it came from, and it is this very earth. So it would only be fair that each one would be apportioned a percentage of this environment, including the air, because it is evident that we require the air. There is no authority outside us that has any greater right than us as you. No one has a greater right than you to have any more of the planet than you have. Understand that. That is natural law. Without having to go into politics, naturally, I don't really want to say this, but anyway, we're going to go down this track just to make it easy for you. You own a percentage of this earth, and there are those out there that know it, and those that would try to seek control through the mind, through the controlling of the mind, the schooling system, the politicians, all of that. What they do is they use the mind against you to relinquish and abdicate your human natural rights to the environment. You have every right, as every other human being, to have a fair, proportioned piece of the environment to belong, to give to you in which order you could live. So how is money created? Well, the powers that be worked out that what we need to do is get people to be completely blind to the fact that they are land wealthy. They are earth connected. They each one of these human beings have a right to their percentage portion of this earth. They have worked that out, that as long as you are a human being, you are by default, by existential reason, the heir to a portion of this planet. It is a given. And so through the system that we have, the corporate system, but we go all the way back, we go back to the pledge, to the covenant, to the contract. And what a contract does is a contract can become a bond, and that's from bonds we create money. And so whenever you sign, we used to do it, we would sign things over, sign paperwork. Whenever you use your signature, the sign of your nature, you're signing over, little do you know, you're signing over your land wealth that belongs to you naturally. This is universal law. It belongs to you naturally. You were born on this planet, and a portion of this planet belongs to you. And what the powers that be have done is they have coerced you. They have fooled your parents, and they managed to trick your parents. And you've probably done the same to your children, to sign a birth certificate, which is basically turning the child into merchandise, turning the child into a commodity. They now are a corporation. When you sign the birth certificate, you are creating a corporation, and you are saying that this living entity is connected, is the wealth. And that's the truth. The living entity, the living being, its wealth is its body, and its wealth is its connection to the environment. And so every time you sign over your nature, you are creating money. You are creating money. As I said earlier on, we create the matrix. We are creating the matrix through the manipulation of the mind. We are creating the matrix. How do we escape the matrix? Stop signing over your nature. it has advanced along incredibly now. We're becoming digital beings, and now we are ascribing our natural being to a digital device, to a digital system. And in that digital system, we're also abdicating our land wealth and creating more money. We create money. What we're doing is we're taking our inherent rights, our inherent land connection. We're taking the land that we are connected to, and we're converting that when we sign our nature, we create money. We are creating our land wealth into money, and it is used on the stock exchange. It is created into bonds, and all of those that are part of that wicked capitalism idea. Capitalizing. What is capital? Think about that. To capitalize on you. You are being capitalized on all the time. If you are paying taxes, you are being manipulated by the mind. Think about the mortgage. You are literally signing over your nature in order to borrow money which you have created, and then causing you to pay it off with your nature. Notice that the exchange is always nature, your energy, your efforts. And those that run the matrix, the false matrix, are siphoning your energy. This must be understood. If you do not understand this, you cannot advance as a spiritual being, because you are in bonds. Bonds. You have created money. You are still creating money. And the only way out is to wake up and realize that you are a natural being, and you say, I am not playing this game. This game of money. Money does not exist. Land exists. Environment exists. You are connected to the environment, and every time you sign over your nature, your signature, or your digital ID, identification, identity. That's why it's all about identity. An entity, id, is a functioning of mind. Mind, entity, is identity, and we identify with it. You've got to drop the identity. Drop the ego. As long as you're playing the game, you cannot win the game. As long as you're playing by their rules, you cannot win the game. In fact, when you realize that you're not here for competition, that you are a natural being, you are a natural phenomena within a natural phenomena, and you are not trying to control or own or coerce, you are naturally correct. Natural correction is the only way forward. Stop creating money for the control system. Natural law. I've heard so many people talk about natural law, and they just make it so difficult to understand. My job is to make it simple for you. You're a natural being. Of course, you and the environment cannot be separated. But what the mind does is it separates you from the land. And look how you've been duped. And then it says, go out and find some land and buy it with this fake money, with this thing that is not connected to your nature. And we are the ones that have been fooled into creating it. People say, oh, it's connected to gold. No, it's connected to land. Common law, natural law, universal law, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, is the only law. The law of the mind, the law of man, is corrupt and always will be. See for yourself. It is corrupt. There are very natural laws out there. Natural laws. We see them all the time. The law of gravity. The law of duality. All these laws that are very basic. There's not many, if you look at it. The law of time. The law of space. Law of matter, the law of physics. You know, they are natural phenomena that we have no control over. We cannot control. And yet look at what the mind does. It controls the environment. It controls the body. And all we have is sickness and crisis and war. We're about to go through a background shift in vibration, and if you're not ready by 2027, I cannot promise what's going to happen for you until you begin to own your own authority, until you begin to honor your own personal strategy, which is essentially honoring the vehicle. Until you honor the vehicle, you cannot escape the matrix. There is a natural matrix, and we're not meant to escape that. We're meant to live it. Natural matrix. But the matrix of the mind has us. It's causing us to continue to create money. The age of planning, in which we all bring our resources, we bring what we have and we give it to an outside authority. That age is coming to an end in 2027. It has been 400 years since we have seen such a phenomena take place, and the age that is coming is nothing like the last. The age that is coming is not like this age, and it will never be like this age. It will shock. It will truly shock. And the only thing you can do in order to be prepared for this age is to be your own authority. Because it is the age of the individual, in which we come back to our more natural state. But we're not going back, we're actually moving forward, because there are going to be new beings. There is an evolution in the DNA. There's evolution on the horizon. You can feel it in the air. You can see it in the stars. It is evident. It is everywhere. We feel it. We know it. The cosmic shift is upon us. It's time for us to let go of creating what is unnatural. That doesn't mean we have to disregard all our technologies and all of that. It doesn't mean that. It means being your own authority, not having a reliance on anything outside of yourself to make your decisions, your choices, and to move in the direction that's correct for you in this life. As I said before, unless you understand that what has happened through the birth certificate process, through the birth certificate construct, you could understand it comes under maritime law, the law of the water. We are not water beings, as we are not living in the ocean. And what they have done is they've caused us to believe on an unconscious level that we are lost at sea. We are not. We are living on the land. We are natural living beings, and we must claim that back. You are the value. You are the wealth. You are the value. You are the wealth. Until you embody that, you cannot go into a deep spiritual process of awakening. You simply cannot. Does that mean we don't use money anymore? But now, no. What it means is that, yes, use money, but know what it is. It's a mind thing. It's the mind game. You only make money through the not self. We talk about the not self in regards to human design. The not self is what makes money. We can use the not self. It's called wisdom. It's understanding what you're not. When you work with money, no, you are not that. Disregard any connection you have with money. It is not you. But the world is so blind. The world has been duped. The world has been tricked by mind to put so much importance on money, to put the very value of themselves on money. And that is the first place in which all spiritual ignorance takes place. The spiritual ignorance that goes very, very deep in this life. An awakening is taking place. We can feel it, we can see it. A deep, shocking awakening is on the horizon. It is coming. I see it very clearly. And so I share this knowledge with you, this understanding. I'm not going into details of everything, but understand I'm trying to keep it very simple here. You are a natural being, returning to your natural understanding and knowing where your value and your wealth is. It is connected to you and the environment, the very understanding that you are the environment. That is your value. That is your wealth. And in this life, as we journey along, you'll discover you have a particular incarnation cross. And so interesting that Christ said, take up your own cross with fear and trembling. My cross, the cross of incarnation. I have the incarnation cross of incarnation. I know what it is, and it makes so much sense to me. My whole life has been about understanding what this incarnation is all about. And my whole life is to help others to understand what this incarnation is all about. And so I will spend my very last waking moment of my life sharing what this incarnation is about, because that is what this incarnation for me is about, to do that. And as long as I do that, I know I am a good and faithful servant, as it says in the Bible, because I'm working with the very talent, the very gift, the very purpose that was bestowed upon me upon birth. What we call our birthright. The earth is your birthright, not money. You must understand that, otherwise you will be trapped in spiritual darkness. It is not money. It will never be money. It is the planet. It is your body. And the awareness, the passenger, here to watch, here to witness, and allow this natural phenomena that we call the body to be natural in its environment. To allow it to be natural in its environment is the first spiritual step. The line one, what is it? The line one in human design, the first line of the hexagram, the investigator. What is it? You must understand that ultimately it is natural. And so you must return to nature, to your nature, and know that you came into this world. The world is a construct. You came into this world with the planet, with Earth, with your wealth, your birthright, this Earth, the land. That's why all indigenous cultures knew how important it was to retain the land, but not only to retain, but also maintain the land, as it said in the beginning, that we were to have dominion over all the animals and over the land. Dominion. The word dominion means do service, do and minion service, do service over the land. But we got it wrong. And under this incarnation cross of planning that we have been under for the last 400 years, in our DNA, it is made that we go and domesticate the animals and overpower them. And we call that dominion. It is not service. It's not. It has been natural for the last 400 years for some to eat animals. But there is coming a time where that will no longer be natural, because the DNA shift that happens within us simply won't allow it. It's taking place in the animals as well. They have allowed themselves to be domesticated. Certain animals have allowed themselves, through the design of the neutrino stream and the age that we're under, the age of planning, it is like certain animals have submitted to being used this way. That's going to change. The cosmic shift changes everything. Animals will not accept it the same. This is difficult information and knowledge for some people to grasp and understand, but know that I have just started here. We must understand that we are the nature itself. We are the nature itself. It's where your value is. It is where your wealth is. It is where your life is. As we go along, I will talk more about maritime law and all of that, and how we've been hoodwinked by maritime law, flags, and all of that business. passports, all of that nonsense, all of that false matrix, it's all going to fall away. It's all going to be gone as the age of the sleeping phoenix dawns upon us. We're watching the falling of an old order, 400 years of the age of planning coming to an end, and a new being rising out of the ashes of that age of planning. The shift is coming, the cosmic shift is coming in 2027, February 18. We begin a new cycle, another 400-year cycle. New beings will be born and a new way of life will begin. I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.